Warship foundered.
Hey there team, it's Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing great. I finally got it, the Stalingrad, and I saved up all my steel for it, and I elected to go with that, not the Burgonia. The Burgonia will be my next one, but anyways, I wanted to show this video about the build before we begin my kind of thoughts and review about it. As you can see, really built for radar. I tried to extend the radar as much as I could because it's been nerfed. Aiming mod to get better dispersion. Damage con because it does burn a lot, concealment, and a gun reload, of course. Not range because I think the range is pretty good enough, so 20.4, that's good. And as you can see, the build is for more rapid fire reload, concealment, and better radar and turning the guns faster, like grease the gears or grind the gears, whatever. Anyways, before we begin, on our way to 600 subscribers, we're almost there. Like, subscribe, bell button below. Appreciate all the support, and I can't thank you guys enough. Like, comment, dislike, anything you guys want to talk about so we can learn something about something as we sail ships, shoot ships, and have a blast doing it. So, that's Stalingrad. Overall, I think, honestly, it is a fun ship, but it's a little overrated. I think back in the day it was powerful, but now it's kind of just like another cruiser. It's another kind of a Moskva. It's another kind of Petro, if you will. I still think Petro is even more, I would say, stronger now, but even though the Petro has been raised out of the waterline to get a better Citadel, I still think that the Petro does a better job than the Stalingrad does. Now, what the Stalingrad's got going for it is really the guns. The guns are literally rail guns that are 305 millimeters, and you're going to see what we can do with that here. And it's because of it's got great dispersion, long range, great pin angles. The shells do awesome damage if you get them right. Like, watch this. I'm shooting a Minnesota at what, 15 kilometers, and look what we can do right here. Look at the dispersion, and a boom, 11k. I mean, you're doing this to a battleship, okay? You're pretty much a cruiser, battle cruiser slash mini battleship. The gimmick really of a Stalingrad is the ability for it to nose in and tank, just like a Petro would. However, now in the age of HE spamming, they're very easy to counter. I've countered so many Stalingrads, especially in clan battles, because everybody loves picking the Stalingrad or the Petro or the Moskva or something, some Soviet cruiser to nose in and just tank damage and just hold a position. And that's so annoying. So what the counter is to focus fire any of these cruisers and burn them to the ground because they have such a long burn time. That's why I've always picked... now that they've taken away, obviously, fire prevention from cruisers, from the commander rework, but the only thing you really can do is just build for the shorter burn times, and boom, he goes now. Minnesota's out of there. Great shots. Satsuma. We are now pushing in the sea cap, and we're going to use our radar ability to spot and help out our team. Again, it's great at shooting destroyers. I've noticed that in the Stalingrad, the dispersion is great enough if I can aim. If you know how to aim, which I'm not really good at. If you know how to aim, you can really devastate some destroyers. I've been slapped so hard with the HE off these guns, and they are literally rail guns. When you get all 9 shells to connect, you are taking so much damage that it's unrecoverable. It is pretty bad, and especially when that radar pops, boom, it's scary there. We start fire. That's the damage I'm talking about. The Stalingrad would just get those hits right in there at the last minute, take a damage off you as a destroyer, and burn you to the ground. So that's one of the benefits, I think, of the Stalingrad. What is it overall, really? I mean, it's kind of like a Moskva. It is kind of like that big version, big brother of it. You notice I still get hit, still get damage like normal. Start fires on it easily, and look at that burn time, 40-second burn time. Very, very long. So I've got Kuznetsov on there, so if I do get down to the low health, they will give me a free damage con and a free heal, in a sense, recovery. So we got to keep that in mind. The poor thing I think about it, so as we start off the game, you notice my concealment. 16.2 while I'm on fire, 14-ish while I'm not. So that's the base concealment, which is pretty bad. It's like battleship concealment. So you can't really go in and really, go in there and try to, there it is, 14.2 right there on the mini-map. You can see that detection range. You can't really go around sneaking around on this thing. This thing is pretty much a Goliath. And you notice I have to angle in towards not only destroyer for torpedoes, but this is a Groningen, so he's got more just guns only, so I'm not worried about torpedoes. But I have to angle against broadsides battleships because reason why the Citadel on this thing is highly exposed, highly out of the waterline. Look at that freeboard, just looking at it. You can Citadel the crap out of the Stalingrad. And when a lot of us have done, I've done it a lot in battleships, and that's what you kind of look for Stalingrad. You kind of flank it, and then that's the juicy sweet spot. That's how you really counter it. For a destroyer right now, countering a Stalingrad is pretty scary as well, because if it pushes in like this and has a radar, which is about to pop in 3 seconds here. So I know I'm spotted. I know I can take the chance of getting spotted, but here's the radar. Poof, there it goes. And look at that. 12-kilometer radar with about 26 second-ish with the type of build I have. And boom, look at that. 1,400 off of him, which is a lot for a destroyer. Secondaries are actually firing, which is hilarious. Let's see if we can take out this grunt again. It's like the Friesland style destroyer. And yeah, look at this. I mean, these shells, look how accurate they are. Oh gosh, I mean, those hits really do cost the destroyer a lot, and hopefully he gets taken out right about there. Way to go, Grossovar gets the shot. We go undetected inside the smoke. We use their smoke against them, and now we're going back. Now we switch to AP. Now here's the bread and butter of the Stalingrad, the AP damage. It is very, very effective. These things are lethal at long range, great dispersion at long range, heavy alpha at long range, and you can see they're very, very good at what they do. So we fire right there, and look, this Napoli, one of the hardest cruisers to kill, and boom, we do 7,700 damage. That is a lot of damage off of him at distance. We're at 14.3, which is a sweet spot, medium range kind of for a cruiser. Fire, look at this dispersion on that. Look at these rail guns. Oh gosh, look at that. 4,100 damage at angles. So really this thing that is the bread and butter, especially pushing in. So I think the powerful aspect of the Stalingrad is not to nose in and get burned to death, but actually be on the move and just flank like crazy and use its speed. I mean, it's not the fastest, cruiser out there. I know the Henry IV does a really good job at that. But with the speed that it has, use it to actually go in and really just cause a ruckus. I mean, you're causing cruisers and battleships to have to angle at like that, weird angles, because they're knowing they're trying to angle against you. You notice they didn't angle against anybody else but me. And I found that that's exactly what you are as a threat on the battlefield, whether you're not shooting or not. That's exactly what you want to do, is be a threat to the point where people make mistakes. And we did right there. We let our team capitalize on it. That's teamwork right there, working together. You see how all our ships are grouped together, moving together in formation, and using all of our attributes together and communicating. And that's exactly how you win games. And I agree with anybody that says, hey, that is awesome that we work together, communicate together, and push as one force, because you can't shoot all of us at the same time. You can single somebody out. You can't single out multiple ships. So we're going to go ahead and continue pushing on. A couple other things I like about it. The speed right here, look, 36 knots going full, especially with the speed flag and everything. I think it's great. The distance of the guns is great. Concealment's poor. Maneuverability is decent. It's like an average cruiser. The armor on it is 50 millimeter plating on majority of the ship, on the deck armor, if you will. Obviously, I already talked about the Citadel is highly exposed. That's a negative aspect of it. It's got that 50 millimeter bow breaker, if you want to call it, right under the nose. 32 on the top portion. So again, this is based on what I've read and played and heard other YouTubers talk about. So the top portion of the Stalingrad's nose is penetrable for 32 millimeter kind of style armor. The rest is 50 millimeter, and it's really hard to Citadel from the front. If you get a shell right in perfect, you could penetrate that Citadel. So you got to be careful on the nose end these days, but really the weakness of it is getting burned to death. That is the biggest thing. So sitting around waiting for torps and fire is not the best, I think, in my play style. I like to be on the move because moving allows you to maneuver against torps. It allows you to get out of detection. It allows you to become a moving target, which causes problems for a lot of people. And I think that's one of the big things that it works really well. And I think, again, a lot of people don't use it in that regard. I don't think people use the Moskva, the Stalingrad, the Petro in the way it was designed as a pushing, knife-edging kind of battleship, kind of battle cruiser, if you will. Look at this shot right here. This is about max range distance, and look how that dispersion is. And ouch, right there. RIP back to 40. One kill right there. First kill of the day. Yeah, this wasn't like a grand slamming killing game for the Stalingrad, in my opinion, but it does display a lot of the attributes that I and the play style that I show, that it's a pusher, it's a tanker, it can be somewhat of a distraction to the team because everybody seems to want to shoot at a Stalingrad for some reason. I mean, we are the first ones to get spotted majority of the time with that 14.2 concealment, and that's exactly why everybody shoots at it. It's the first one to get spotted. Everybody else is hanging out in the back. Destroyers don't get spotted right away. Battleships are in the back. So the cruiser really goes in and uses the radar. The radar, decent kind of like time. Look at this shot right here. Boom! 5,000 damage at range. Not bad, but causes the Kana to get, or Napoli to get scared right there. The other couple things is standard damage con. It's got the defensive A fire. AA is like decent. I mean, look at it shooting this eagle here. It's already. I mean, these are jets. You know, I mean, no AA is good against these jets really these days, but it does a decent job at handling against other, I would say, CVs. However, you know, if you go against a Hakuru or somebody with torps, man, this thing, it will take a punch and not recover from it. It is pretty susceptible to, and I mean, who isn't susceptible to torpedoes, but that's the one weakness. The good thing about having that big concealment is that you can see my fire rate goes down 8% for that perk right there, as you can see popping up. Anybody in inside our detection range increases our reload at 8%, so we get a better reload. The guns reload about 17, 18 seconds-ish, which is standard for Soviet kind of cruisers. You know, decent enough. Not as good as a Petro reload, but good, decent enough. I'll watch this right here, and boom, 16,000 damage on a Satsuma. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Rail guns like this that pack a punch, and it is devastating for a lot of cruisers and battleships. So we are, again, going solo, knifing in towards all these guys, and just taking damage like we can. And we got to slow down here because we don't want to take torps from a Napoli maybe, or, you know, the secondaries. We're aiming for the sweet spot right below the turrets of a Satsuma. Key tip right there. If you aim right below the magazine of that Satsuma, it's a flat broadside, and boom, right there, 300 damage. 4 pins, so we can excellent for this kind of a style of gameplay. Satsuma goes down, and all we got left is the good old Napoli here, one of the hardest cruisers, but not for a Stalingrad to kill. Look at that dispersion. Oh my god, I can't get over that. Boom, look at that, 4,500 damage, and what's he gonna do to us? Tink, scratch the paint. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That's the power of the Stalingrad, just knifing in. You're pretty much a Goliath with big ass guns. And here comes the final death blow, and boom, RIP back to in the game. That's what I think about the Stalin. Highly recommend it. I do like it. Like, subscribe, bell button below, guys, again. But I would recommend overall it is a fun cruiser to play. I understand the hype. I would get it. I'm not regretting it. I think it's a great cruiser to play, especially for clan battles and ranked in the future. But hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think below. And again, can't thank you guys enough for supporting, on our way to 600 subscribers. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.